Okay, I guess we're live. This is Jason Robinson, Illustration by Design, and this is going to be a live stream drawing the character Invincible for Nasser Body. Oh, let me turn down the volume here. He was one of the winners of the 10 free drawings from my art giveaway from about a month ago, and I am slowly getting through all of them. Let's see, last week I did, I think Snoopy and Indiana Jones. So next up is Invincible. This is not Invincible. This is Judge Dredd from last week's Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition competition. And this is my entry. Oh, let me turn on my light so you guys can see it better. And this is as far as I got. I knew going into it, because I wasn't really familiar with Judge Dredd, that I wouldn't be able to finish the whole thing. So I figured I'd just do pencils and then ink it later on, and then color it, possibly. But anyway, hold on 1 second. Let me get some paper, and I will get started on Invincible. Oops, something's going on. Something's going on here. Okay, right back. Let's see. I'm kind of fiddling with the live streaming and everything. I'm trying to connect the app with my computer. So still a lot of what's it called, boomerang going on with this stuff. So I'm gonna keep playing with it. Hopefully get better with time, but please be patient. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Got paper. Get you out of the way. Put you down. And we'll see what we can see. Now, what I was trying to do this time was sort of schedule ahead of time the live stream instead of just going live directly. And I set it for 3:50, but when I hit the OK button, it just immediately opened. So I'm not really sure if I'm actually live now, or if it will go live in a few minutes at 3:50, at which point I've already started the drawing. So we shall see. Let me just make sure. Alright. Make sure the camera is the camera okay? I guess it's okay. Okay. Let's hope this is still going. Still going? Okay. Having more the usual fun. The usual fun with my live streams. Trouble. But carry on. shall carry on. Alright, let me see. It's 3:49 now. Let's see, it's 3:50 now, so we'll see if this actually works and if people actually see it. Cancel. Actually, let me get out of this. Go back in it. You would think late at night there'd be less people on the internet, or early in the morning, and there'd be more or less trouble with this stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's just my lack of knowledge. Let's see, let me find reference for Invincible. I've read the comic, or at least a lot of issues of it, and it's good. It's very bloody, but I have a very rough knowledge of what he actually looks like, so I have to look up reference. See, Invincible comic. Enter. Alright, let's see. I might find some pictures of this kid. Invincible kid. Invincible boy. What does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like? Come on. Alright, that's good enough. Ah, dang it. Okay, yeah, Mark Trafford, I'm boomering it up. Yeah, this is how the sausage is made. Okay, let me see here. Make sure my glasses are on. You have enough light. Alright, let me draw Invincible for good old Nasser. Gotta draw the rough outline first, because otherwise it's gonna be a big old mess. Hopefully I'm not talking too low. You guys can hear me. Always streaming when I'm driving. Sorry about that. How can you? I don't even want to think about how you can watch this while you're driving. That's kind of scary. I can barely drive while I'm driving, so. Don't hit any koalas or anything while you're out there. Let's see. All right. Alright, let's go. Still going. I just check every once in a while to make sure that the stream hasn't spontaneously shut down for no particular reason, as it's prone to do. Let's see. Can I zoom in here? Started to. No. Hold on. Cancel. Give me a second. Here. Just gotta test this. Okay, that's going. That's working. This is called the boomer stream here. This is really trying to zoom in like I usually can. And it's not. Keeps snapping back to. Oh well. Oh well. I'm not gonna worry about it. Again, need 20 arms to live stream. All right. Actually, you give me a sec. I'm gonna share this live stream to Twitter so people actually know that when I'm up and drawing. Be right back. Okay, there we go. Posted it to Twitter and Facebook. So maybe someone else or a few more people will show up. That'd be cool. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. Give this live stream a like, and if you could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, and then hit the bell for notifications so that you can see more of this content as I do it in the future. I don't want to make him too muscular because he's still a kid. I haven't read Invincible in quite a while. I first read it pretty far into the series. I think it was it's probably in the 80s by the time I actually picked it up, and I got it from the library. They had trade paperbacks of it, so I would get those and read them. And like I said, it was a good comic. It's sort of a combination of Spider-Man and Superman, whereas the protagonist is a teenager, but just a normal teenager. He finds out that his dad is an alien from another planet, and he's inherited his powers. But the problem is his dad is kind of a psychopath. He comes from an extremely violent planet where it's like Krypton, but as opposed to Krypton, these people, they're super powered from the get-go. They don't have to go to Earth or anything to gain superpowers, and they go from planet to planet conquering them, and then interbreeding with the populace there to form new generations of warriors. So I think that's the general gist I remember from it. So so this kid gets he gets swept up in all this. His father comes to Earth, pretends to be a superhero. I guess he is one for a while, but then he goes. He I guess is trying to conquer Earth, so he ends up killing all of his former allies in the superhero community. And this kid has to fight his dad. He gets the heck beat. This comic is really violent. This kid gets his organs ripped out and stuff. It's pretty intense. So, but it's a good comic. But I like I said, I haven't really kept up with it since over the past few years. I haven't read it. But he's a cool character, and it was actually my first time drawing him. So I need to look at reference to see what he looks like. But like I said, I don't want to make him too muscular because he's not supposed to be like Superman. He's supposed to be leaner, like Spider-Man. So yeah, dagnabbit. What are you doing? Move. Go back. Let me put some light on my artwork. I'm trying to think where's these eyepieces, lenses. Just trying to think how to depict them. It's probably good. Let's see. This drawing is going about par for the course. It's about 75% erasing. That's fine. I kind of like hacking away at a drawing until it comes out the way I want it to. I'd much rather erase in the pencil stage than screw up in the inking stage. Not that this is going to be inked, it's just going to be pencils, but still, it's always much more preferable to make mistakes when you're penciling than when you're inking. For me, anyway. I hate ink's too permanent for me to. I don't have patience for making corrections once I'm inking. So I want to make all my mistakes while I'm penciling. Let's see. Nope, don't do that. It's going to draw the other eye plate on the opposite side, but it does not look right. So I will leave it out. Leave it out. You guys see Game of Thrones tonight or last night? What did you guys think about it? It's a series finale. And I know that everybody was all hyped up about watching it. I don't watch the show, so you know, if you want to say any spoiler stuff, that's fine with me. But I who won? I mean, it might not even be someone I know. I mean, the only people I know on the show are the Dragon Lady. What's her name? Daenerys. I know her. I know Jon Snow. I know Peter Dinklage's character. I know who else? The woman with the short red hair. Is she the one who sleeps with her brother? Um, so I mean, did any of them win? I don't know. But my wife actually started watching the show a little while ago on DVD. But it's not. Game of Thrones isn't really my cup of tea. It's too little. Well, not little. It's a lot too graphic for me. I can't take that sort of stuff. So I'm letting my wife take the bullet for me. Uh, Durkunken, Duraken, sorry, says, I'm pretty sure there is one more episode, and I haven't seen season 8, episode 6 yet. Went to sleep. Well, yes, episode 6 was the one that showed tonight, Duraken. So, and that's the series finale. Tonight's was the last episode of the entire series, so that was it. So if you haven't seen it, you should probably watch it as quickly as possible before everyone at work spoils it for you, or on the internet. I mean, I found out who doesn't get it, because there was something happened, and one of the people didn't make it to the finish line. So, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to count the fingers, make sure I have just enough, not too many. But yeah, but I don't know who actually won the Iron Throne, is what it's called. So sort of like Survivor, medieval Survivor, I guess. There we go. That's better. That's better. There were supposed to be 7 episodes. Weird. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, tonight was the last episode ever. I kind of want to spoil it for my wife, but I'm not going to do that. I'll watch it soon. I have to wait for download. I think Bob becomes king. Who's Bob? Is that like the local plumber? Hey, Bob won. What about Bob? Larry becomes king. Al. Who became king? Was it the Dragon Lady? Nah, Al won. Al, yeah, you know, the guy who sells hot dogs down the street. Draken says the Masons all win, rebuilding the King's Landing. They're employed for years after that one, yeah. Yeah, seriously. The Masons and the firefighters. It's weird. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but it's like I'll go back and I'll watch like when major things happen. I'll watch like the major events like that the whole dragon scene from last week, and stuff like when that guy gets killed by the mountain in the arena, um, and then Jeffrey got poisoned. The fight between what was his name, the Hound, and that female knight. Like I watched moments of Game of Thrones, but I never. I don't know. I just never got into the whole thing. And actually, those few moments I've seen is probably why I haven't watched it, because I've you know, after watching some of those scenes, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this whole show. I'm more of a Lord of the Rings type fantasy fan, where it's a lot less graphic. The realistic violence kind of gets to me. Draken says, I just binge watched it like 2 or 3 weeks ago and it was better than I thought. People focus on gore and sex, and there's a lot less of that than I thought. Okay. people are dumb though when they discuss these things. For years I heard people be like, you'll be surprised by what happens at the Red Wedding. I was just like, it's called the Red Wedding. It's obviously a massacre. Still, people were surprised by it when it first aired. What was it called? The Red Wedding? When was that the name of the episode, or was that what they called it after the Red Wedding actually happened and everyone ended up getting killed? And then it was just called the Red Wedding because of the killing. But I think a lot of people, regardless of people in general, they don't. I don't know. I think people they may suspect something might happen, but when it actually does, it ends up being a lot more intense than they imagined. So I think that's what surprises them. And plus, it's something they've never seen on TV before. I don't know how often like entire wedding parties have been massacred on TV. Then it's surprising. I don't know if it's the name of the episode, but it was called that in the lore. The Joffrey wedding is called the Purple Wedding. Why is it called the Purple Wedding? Was he dressed as Prince? Because he was a prince. Is that why? I don't know. Joffrey was a prince, so it's called the Purple Wedding. I guess that makes sense. I think Prince was a lot cooler, though. Purple equals royalty. Okay. So it wasn't because Joffrey was the Prince of Funk. And I'm just drawing blood splatters all over Invincible's face because he's real violent. And when he fights, he makes a real mess. I think they call Prince the king of funk. Because I don't know who would be the king. If Prince is a prince, I don't know who the king would be. There are very few people funkier than Prince. He's very cool. He's a very cool musician. And he never seemed to age. He was pretty. He's pretty awesome. I suspect he was a vampire, faked his own death. He'll show up again in about 30 years as his own son, and then start a whole new career. Carrying on his own legacy. See, Draken says he does have a vault full of unreleased music, so maybe he did fake his own death and hid away in there. It could be. Well, he has a whole underground bunker behind that vault door, and he's just biding his time, waiting it out. Probably extends for about 25 square miles underground in an old missile silo. He's just chilling, watching TV, watching cable. Alright. Now for the fun part. The hair highlights. The bane of my existence when it comes to drawing characters. It's always hard for me to figure out where to put the highlights. Yeah, 4 people are watching. Hey, thanks for showing up, and thanks for taking time out of your busy evening / morning to watch me draw. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, thumbs up button, and subscribe to my channel to get more thrilling, exciting content of me drawing superheroes and babbling about shows I don't watch. Simple, just let the colors figure it out. Nah, yeah, it's not a good idea. I mean, man, some colors are fantastic and know what they're doing. Some colors don't know what they're doing, and I think it's the role of the penciler to to assign shadows and light sources and stuff. And a penciler should know enough about drawing to be able to do that. And since I'm the penciler, colorist, and inker, I definitely should know. Yeah, it's just I need to watch more videos of inkers doing their work. I mean, if you haven't, you should do that if you're interested in learning how to ink. I mean, I've picked up quite a bit just from sort of looking over the shoulders of inkers in YouTube videos. It's like, oh, cool, that's how he does it. I just find it very interesting. Because, oops, gotta use paper so I don't start smearing all the pencil stuff I've already done. I just find it very interesting. It's a much more discipline and much more interesting discipline than you would think. It's like the old chasing Amy thing. Inkers are just tracers. It's not. It is not true. they're very skilled. At least good ones are. So what am I doing? What am I doing? Huh? There's a lot of stuff. The hair is coming from a single point here. These are individual strands, so I gotta have them all coming from that point. Draken says, some pencilers, inkers are terrible with shadows. When I color, it drives me insane. I think they should add shadows to their ability, but not be afraid to let others handle that. Yeah, yeah, I agree and disagree. I definitely think they should add shadows to their skill set. Um, they need to learn how to handle um, light in the penciling and inking stage. But I can understand why artists would be afraid to allow others to do that work for them if because they're worried that it will be done incorrectly. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. It just depends on who's handling the next stage of the artwork. I mean, if you're a penciler who doesn't know how to handle shadowing, you want a good inker who does know how to do it, so that it gets done as close to the initial process as possible. And if the penciler and inker don't know how to handle shadows, you pray that the colorist does, because if none of them do, the art's just going to look haphazard, and nothing's going to look correct. So ideally, the penciler knows, and he lays down the shadows so that the inker and the colors have less work to do, or less thinking to do, when it comes to laying down blacks and stuff, and shadowing. They can just follow the penciler's lead. That's why I think that the penciler is the one who, it's his responsibility or her responsibility to know how to lay down shadows, and then the other artists taking up the art after them can just follow suit and focus on doing their job properly, rather than trying to cover the butt of the penciler who didn't do their job. So that's me. And I say that partly because I'm at my core a penciler. That's all I've really ever wanted to do. And I know that I've always slacked on knowing how to lay down shadows, and it's biting me in the butt now. And I wish I had focused on it sooner. So and I hate the idea that other people after me have to sort of clean up after my lack of knowledge in terms of how to lay down shadow. And I've gotten better over the years as I've worked. I've realized that you need to, and also as I've just seen other artists. I mean, artists who know how to lay down shadow. I mean, they've always impressed me. Like Alan Davis. I mean, he knows how to lay down shadows really, really well. And what's his name? Steve Epting. Is that how you pronounce it? He used to draw Captain America. But I think he draws Batman now. Does he? No, that's Lee Weeks. Sorry. But yeah. But good artists know how to handle light and shadow. I guess that's what I'm saying. Let me see. And I'm still learning, as you might be able to tell watching these videos. Each drawing I do is a new opportunity for me to learn new things and put into practice some things that I may have picked up. So it is a constant process, learning how to draw. But it's fun. Keeps it from getting boring, for me anyway. Draken says, yeah, it's great when someone lays down shadow right, like Art T-Bear. Yeah, seriously. Art T-Bear knows exactly what he's doing. He's a great penciler, great inker. I don't know if he colors, but he's definitely a fantastic penciler and inker. Another one is Bob McLeod. He's the co-creator of the New Mutants back in the 1980s, and he does. I don't know if he still does it, but he used to have a regular feature in Draw Magazine. I think it was Draw Magazine a few years ago, and which is dedicated to how to draw comic books. Great artist, great teacher, but both those guys, yeah, they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to light and shadow. Mike Miller, on the other hand, lays down very little shadow, and that's always great to work with too. Yeah, Mike varies. Mike is one of the best inkers I've seen in recent years. It's just that his style changes. It varies depending on the project he's working on. Sometimes, and how much time he has to do it. I think ideally, Mike loves texture, and he loves doing the cross hatching and like the really sort of almost ends up looking like gray tones, because he does like really fine hatch work on his drawings. The ones where he takes time to really work on it. Other drawings or earlier drawings, he does a lot of spotted blacks, this plain blacks, and I prefer spotting blacks as opposed to hatching, because hatching, to my mind, it makes art. It makes a lot of the artwork. It just depends on like, especially for superhero work, it makes it look too delicate. If you have a lot of hatching, a lot of light, sort of light hatching on it, and Mike tends to veer towards that sometimes. Like, he did a drawing of what was it? Detective Dead, a cover for that indie comic Detective Dead, and it was set at night, but all the shadowing, most of the shadowing was like hatching, all the bricks in the wall and stuff, and it looked very, very cool, very intricate. But I don't know, it just, when I see like superhero or like nighttime detectives type stuff, I like seeing spotted blacks, like heavy blacks. Not I shouldn't say heavy blacks, but when they're shadowing, I want it to be black shadowing and not just sort of cross hatching like you would see in like delicate woodcuts, or like fine illustrations you would see in old novels where they have like a lot of fine hatching. It works sometimes in comic books, with Barry Wrightson's Frankenstein. I mean, that was beautiful work, and it was partly because of all the hatching. Um, Mike's work would do beautifully in that stuff, or the work he does for Game of Thrones, for the Game of Thrones comic book. I think it works great in that because it sort of fits the medieval sort of feel and look of the book. I, but Mike can also do great spotted blacks. I mean, if you see his drawings of Catwoman, or characters who are in all leather, I mean, his stuff is just spot on. I mean, it's great stuff. So Mike's inking varies from project to project. Um, so uh, Draken says, I agree. Spotting blacks with minor amounts of hatching is probably best. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just more. I find it more dramatic. At least in superhero comics. Like I said, um, hatching works great on some projects, and not it's not as powerful in others. I don't want to see a Superman comic book where all the shadowing is hatched. For me, it doesn't work. If you had a Batman comic with a lot of hatching, it might work, but not if there's a lot of action. If it was like like a slower Batman story, I think it would work. But if it's like an action-packed Batman story, don't hatch. It makes it gives the story a different feeling. Oh yeah, yeah. Draken says hatching probably worked good with Swamp Thing. Yeah, yeah, it would work awesome with Swamp Thing. I love Bernie Wrightson's Swamp Thing. I need to. One of my goals is to get all the issues of Bernie Wrightson's Swamp Thing, and also the artist who followed him, Nestor Redondo, was brilliant. I mean, he. If you haven't already, look up Nestor Redondo. I think his last name is Nestondo. I think he's Filipino. Um, he died a while back. I think he passed away. But he was a brilliant artist. He also illustrated the um, DC's uh, Bible comic book back in the '70s. This is beautiful, beautiful work, beautiful hatch work. Um, Hold on one second. Let's see. Here it is. It's this giant sized collector's edition that DC put out back in the 70s. It only cost $1 back then. But I mean, this isn't his work. This is Joe Kubert. But Nestor Redondo did all the interior artwork, and it's stuff like this. It's just beautiful line work, a lot of hatching, a lot of detail, and and then when he starts getting into the actual Bible stories, he'll have this for Adam and Eve. A lot of just intricate. Yeah, it will work well for Jonah Hex as well, Durakin. I mean, it's just beautiful illustrations. And I love this stuff. But and this stuff again might work well in some Batman stories, but I wouldn't want to see Superman drawn like this. It's not it doesn't lend itself to action or actiony scenes. It's more like contemplative, quiet scenes like that. Swamp Thing. Like I said, this guy drew Swamp Thing for a while after Bernie Wrightson, and he was perfect for the job. I mean, the characters just look really organic and just beautiful. I mean, it's just I would love to. And again, this is someone who I would love to be able to draw like. And he inked this as well. Just a fantastic inker. So. They used hatching in Batman a lot in the late mid-90s, if I remember right. I don't know. What I remember of Batman from the 90s was Norm Brayfogel's work. So, and he didn't use hatching at all. His was very, very graphic. But Norm Brayfogel may have been late 80s, early 90s. I don't know if they when he stopped drawing Detective Comics and Batman, but he's the main artist from the 90s that I remember for Batman. I loved his work. He passed away recently too. Well, not recently, but maybe about a year ago. But he was young. He was still in his 50s. It's a shame. My body decided I only needed 3 hours sleep tonight. Now I'm awake at 5 a.m. and I'm hungry. Yeah, yeah. I was getting I didn't get much sleep last night, so I ended up having to get up for church, and I was running around most of the day, and then I ended up being exhausted by around 8 o'clock tonight when I finally got home. So I conked out. I conked out at probably around 9, and then woke up around 1. So I'm still kind of tired, but I figured it's like, well, I'm up. I might as well live stream, and it takes me a while to to get into the live streaming swing of things before my brain's active enough to do it. So it wasn't until, I guess quarter to 5 that quarter to 4 that I actually started. All right, let's see. What's this costume look like? I mean, I know it's got like designs on it. I guess find out what those are. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's that eye. It's that modified eye. At least the one I'm drawing. So I think Invincible's had about 20 different costumes. Need a drink. Let's see. All right. Draken says, I tried to stream, but it's like 2 or 3 hours of me just clicking the picture for the lasso tool. Don't know how people can stand watching that. Well, I think it just depends. I mean, some people are interested in that sort of artwork, so they want to learn how to do it themselves, so they're happy to watch. If you're into something, you'll watch anything. I mean, I love those videos where the guy just sort of renovates old rusty tools and stuff. I mean, those are speed drawings, or they're kind of sped up, but there's this guy named Alex Steele who does blacksmithing. I don't blacksmith, but I like watching him do it because it's very interesting to me, so I'm willing to watch. This depends on the person. Mark Trafford said, is it an artist thing to stay up late? Does it help with creativity? I don't know if it helps with creativity. I think it's just, for me personally, I got into a bad habit when I was in college where I was staying up late working on projects. So it kind of stuck with me, and hold on one second. So I kept doing it after college, and for me, I'm not a morning person. I hate getting up in the morning after sleeping. So I'm a night owl. So working at night is much better for me. It's much more quiet. Um, there's nothing else interfering with it. There's no phone calls. I can't really go anywhere else because all the stores are closed. So it's a good time for me just to focus on drawing. There's a lot less distractions during the than during the day when I could be doing 500 different things as opposed to just sitting down on my butt and drawing. So I like being up at night. I always have. So and I've always hated getting up in the morning. So for me, I'm just a night owl. Draken says penciling and inking has a benefit of you getting to see the picture take shape every second. Coloring is just a dotted line for several hours. Um, well, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I've colored a fair amount over the last, of my whole career, and I've come to realize that colorists. I mean, it's such a completely different skill set, and you need to be really skilled to be a really good colorist. That there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, you kind of have to be a painter. It's basically you have to know color theory. You have to know a lot of things. So it doesn't for me it doesn't get boring. It gets complex. Um, but I can see how you can have a lot of fun taking a sort of like some line work that might be mediocre and making it look spectacular through coloring. If you're a colorist, it can be a challenge. Like I mean, a challenge to improve artwork from good to great. Like I always look at like Rob Liefeld's artwork in recent years, where if you look at the stuff he's been doing for DC Comics, Rob Liefeld hasn't changed his art style much since the '90s. He still draws the same, but his artwork now looks much better because of the colorists. If you look at his line work versus his colored work, the same image, line work, Rob Liefeld, and then Rob Liefeld with colors, they're 180 degrees different. Because Rob Liefeld with just Rob Liefeld's inks and pencils still looks it's Rob Liefeld. I mean, it looks the way it does. It's kind of, 9 times out of 10 is kind of flat. If you look at at the work with a good colorist by Rob Liefeld, it looks spectacular, much better. I mean, the muscles look rounded. It has much more volume. There's much more depth in the drawing. Rob Liefeld doesn't put depth in his drawing. He draws very flat figures, not that much perspective. And the colorist does such a phenomenal job with his work that I mean, you can it's a challenge. It's very cool. Draken says, Draken says, at Mark Trafford, sort of. Lots of creatives are most active during the night. I have a hypothesis as to why, but most social scientists suggest that has to do with nocturnal people had to entertain themselves. Yeah, maybe. I think most artists tend to be introverts. So, like I said, I mean, you don't have to deal with anyone else at night. So, um, I guess working at night sort of falls in with the introverted nature of artists, or many artists anyway. Draken says some people needed to stay up to watch the camp. Those people most likely to do it were those who can keep themselves awake and entertained. So ipso facto, it's a natural fit for creators. Draken says thanks for subbing at Mark Trafford. Mark Trafford says I'm just happy all the American artists I follow stay up late. All you guys sleep on Australian time. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think yeah, our night is your day and vice versa. So, if it's early in the morning here, I'm asleep. At least early in the morning during daylight hours. But I'm very happy that you guys are up and the other 3 people that are watching. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And please hit that like button, thumbs up, give it a video a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. I have to keep saying that because otherwise I forget, and then no one gives my videos a thumbs up, so I have to keep reminding them and myself to do that. Draken says, I sleep on Draken time. I'm normally nocturnal, but there are things I have to do during the day, so I have to force myself, shift my sleeping so I'm awake at daytime hours. Well, I'm awake during the day. It's just that, if you call me before, if you contact me before 10, you're going to have to leave a message. And I will get back to you. I'm not someone, unless I've been up all night and I'm still awake. I've never been someone to get up at 6 in the morning, unless I've had to for either work or school. So, and like I said, that's not my preferred time of awakening. All right. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Hmm. Let's see, looking for more reference. Okay, okay, okay. I think this, alright, erase that. I think the whole chest area is light blue, and it's not. There we go. And then underneath his pecs is darker. That is what I'm guesstimating, gleaning, guessing, guesstimating. All right, let's see. Let's see. Go back to the chat, see what people are talking about. Oh, you guys are buffering. Sorry about that. I apologize. Hope it's still working. I was too focused on drawing. Not now? Okay, I'm good. Glad to hear it, Lady Celtic. Sorry. Lady Celtic. Lady Celtic Moon. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I've been laying down for 2 hours trying to sleep, but it was not happening. Kept having this story going through my head. Through me head. Are you actually Celtic? Through me head sounds very Celtic. Let's see. Okay. Stay in the chat for a little while. Hopefully, this will not buffer anymore. Let's see. Well, not me, but you understand. All right. Let's see. Spotting blacks. Let me move this over. Oh, man, I dropped all my pens. Let's see. How much power do I have left in my phone? which is recording all this. Can't see. Not much. Okay, hold on. Have to do the power cord shuffle. My power cord, gotta move it from my tablet to my phone. Hopefully it won't screw stuff up. Let's see. Blink. Okay. Now my phone's getting charged. Is everybody still here? Hopefully everybody's still here. It needs to be working. Okie doke. Back to the drawing. The drawing. Oh, let me stretch. Ah, neck. Boy. Oh. 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 Boy. Being hunched over a desk for how long has it been? Well over an hour. It's not good for you. What time is it? So when did I start? I started 3:50, 3:45. So it's almost been 2 hours. I'm taking a little longer with this one because I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm enjoying drawing Invincible. He's a cool character. I like his costume is iconic. I like that. It's simple. And he's beating up someone or some alien. I don't know. But he's making a mess. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Okay. The stream still seems to be working. So I will keep on drawing. This arm I'm gonna do the wax circles like speed lines and spot the blacks this way. So it'll be more motiony. Let's see. Tommy Sakarian is here. New week. Let's see what drama will brew for this week. Oh, you're talking about with Comic Skate? Yeah, that is unfortunate drama, but we shall see. We shall see. Hey Tommy, glad you're here. It's good seeing you. Mark Trafford says, I blame WC, war campaign. Yeah, war campaign seems to be quite the instigators of trouble. Oh, thanks, Tommy. Tommy says, looking good, even if the right hand is somewhat skinny. Yeah, it might be. But I look at my own hands, and I'm kind of skinny, so I blame myself. Yeah, I mean, I guess ideally it should be like really big, because it's like closer to the camera. But well, it's for Nasser, so it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's for Nasser. The expression is great. Oh, thanks. Long hours looking at myself in the mirror, screaming about nonsense. Hey, Santa Raven, how you doing? Good seeing you. Man, everyone's coming out. Well, I guess it's almost dawn, so that might be why. The birds will be coming out next. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, give the video a thumbs up, the live stream, and subscribe. How you doing, Santa Raven? Everything going okay? Santa Raven says, I'm good. Good. Glad to hear it. See, Tommy Sakarian says, weekend was very nice. Good weather, and we went to the woods with our dogs. Oh, cool. Oh, neat. Had a photographer with us who was doing a thing for school, and we got to be models. Ha ha, that's awesome. That's very cool. Especially the part with the dogs. Well, mostly our dogs, yeah. The dog, probably mentioned before, I love dogs. Dogs are the best. They're the best animal ever created. Okay, I think this is pretty much done. Wait, actually, let me darken some of these up. Oops. It's still going? Something seems to have happened. Give me a second here. Let me just make sure that this thing has not petered out. This live stream at the last second, at the 11th hour. Let's see, is it still going? It says, please check your network connection. Something's happening. Was really happy how attentive and well-behaving they were. We got them to do everything the photographer needed them to do. Oh, cool. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, dogs are cool. They're very cool. Cool animals. Awesome. Okay, still going. Still going. Still going. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Just want to darken some of these lines. Some of these blood splatter lines. Okay, that's better. Okie doke. That is pretty much done. I just need to sign it. And then spray fix it so it doesn't smear all over the place before it gets to Nasser. Before it gets to its final destination. Put the signature right here. And cover this up so I don't smear it. There we go. Bam. How does that look? That look okay? It's invincible. Giving a beat down to someone or something. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the this drawing live stream. And oh, cool. Okay, good. Thanks, Tommy. Glad you like it. I'll be doing more stuff later on. I don't know, possibly today. I got more of these free drawings I need to finish. Hold on. See, what do I have left? Let me check some of these people off. I got Nasser here. Let's see. Nasser's surprise me drawing was Invincible. because he said he liked that character. Let's see, who do I have left? I have Ashoka Tano. I think that's a Star Wars character. I've never drawn her. And Ash from Evil Dead. So maybe I'll do one of these two today. Yeah. So I'm going to have to look at reference to figure out exactly what Star Wars character looks like. I think it's the girl with the tentacles on her head. And I'll need reference for Ash. I mean, I know what Bruce Campbell looks like, but you know, reference is always helpful whenever you're drawing something. Always use reference, kids. So you become a better artist, or at least you'll be able to fake it better, which is what I do. But anyway, thank you everyone for sticking around, for keeping me company, and watching this live stream. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications for the next time I do a live stream or post up a video, and hit the bell for notifications. Did I just say that? I can't remember. Short-term memory is going bye-bye, just like Santa Raven. Bye, everyone. That's my memory. Tommy says aloha. Yeah, everyone, have a great day, and take care. Drive safely, Mark Trafford. If you're still, he's still here. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Drive safely. Don't watch and drive. And you guys have an awesome day. I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye.